All right, guys. Long time no talk. Um, I a while back had planned on making a little update video. I mentioned that I had a guy who I was sponsoring who was racing. For those of you that don't follow my Instagram, he got the last weekend he was out. He got pole position and actually they converted that pole to a race win. So now that car's out there winning races. I have a head that he's getting a replacement for. They had the rocker arms come up on their head. That's not me. That wasn't me. That wasn't my head. I just did the block. But anyway, so I had a couple heads here, but some shit went down where it wound up being a whole ass long situation to get the proper head, because I had a whole bunch of heads for B18s, but not all of them were 100% healthy. And the last one wound up going out to somebody else, and then had to get another one. But anyway, so that's all sorted out. I just want to give that update because I don't think I'm going to make a separate video for that. But there was also some shit that went down. I had to talk about real quick. Again, I'm always posting and tagging my BHP Engines website, but I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to reorganize my website where it's not gonna be Nippon Racing products in there anymore. Not because I can't sell them to you guys. It's just because there's too many people that don't follow instructions. I've always said a million times, but if you want to buy from the website, contact me directly first. I try to make it in the post where it's like, hey, check for availability, because it fluctuates, I do not have a separate stockpile of Nippon Racing products at my house, right, guys? So when you're buying Nippon Racing products through me, they're coming directly from the U.S. supplier. So if the U.S. supplier is not listing them, then I don't have them either, because that's who, like, you guys hit me up, I go to them and hit them up. And if you're thinking, oh, I'm just a middleman and I'm taxing you, no, I keep my prices at Nippon Racing at the regular actual Nippon Racing prices, because I get a little bit of a kickback on selling this stuff, and it's just easier. Jesse offered it to me a long time ago, years ago. Like, hey, let me know if you're sending somebody, and it's just like it's impossible to do that. So that's why we do it the way we do now. So that way, if you're coming through me, he knows exactly who they're coming from. I guess I can say that I'm happy because those 87 millimeter RRC pistons are what's in high demand ever since I started talking about them. So I would say that I guess that my content has some legs, and you guys are starting to take note of that, because that is the most requested piston I get. They're always out of stock. There's no stock bore 87 millimeter RRC pistons, guys. They go, like, they come in and they disappear immediately, because it's like you're not going to find that kind of compression for K series like anywhere else and not spend $500-600 on those pistons. So of course they're going to go out right away. The only thing I can say is this will be a proper cure for you guys is to stop using stock bore engines. Like, do the fucking machine work. It'll maybe cost you like an extra couple $100, but if you can't find the pistons that you're trying to stay stock bore for, because the piston will be cheaper, then you're gonna have, if you want to stay stock bore and use that piston and the piston's not available, that means you're gonna have to buy a $600 piston versus the $200 piston. Or you can just bore your shit over and still save money on buying the Nippon Racing pistons versus the full forge one, if you're trying to stay NA. And then this way you'll have a fresh ass fucking clean stock bore, or a clean new bore, versus having something that's got fuck tons of mileage on it that you don't even know about. Save you the headaches. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I really want to talk about, guys. Like, I try to tell you guys not to purchase through the website, because I also have to tax you guys on there. And recently, somebody purchased something and they had to do a refund issue on it, because I, for whatever reason, couldn't just go to I couldn't take myself to PayPal. I tried immediately to go to PayPal and issue a refund because the parts weren't in stock, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't initiate the refund. And then on top of that, like, for me to just do a raw refund of the money I received, like, I actually received less money than it cost me to pay for the pistons. So I was going to lose money to refund too, because the website's fees have drastically increased. So even though I had inflated the price to cover that, it didn't work. So, again, people aren't paying attention, so I'm going to have to eliminate that there. You guys can still get Nippon Racing products through me. What I normally have been doing is, if you're trying to buy the RRC piston and it's they're not in stock, I can usually go to the PRC. The PRC are usually in stock at 87 millimeter, and it's very similar compression rating. So that's the compromise I've been trying to make, is like, hey, I can't give you those exactly, but I can give you these, and it's very fucking close, and it'll be very similar results. All right, guys. So yeah, I guess that's probably what I'll title this. Is that if you can't use the RRC and you're dead set on staying stock bore, then the PRC would be the way to go. Very similar results, very similar compression. Again, I'm glad you guys are paying attention to the piston to use, but it's just not paying attention to the other things I'll be trying to talk to you guys about. And I guess I will mention one quick name drop that I haven't talked about in a while because they made me all aggravated was Max Speedy Rods. Another one of the reps hit me up and talk about advertising some of their shit. The current race car with the VHB B series in there is we've been talking about going to a K series later in the year. I have an engine already set aside for him that he could use, but we might if I can finagle a set of free rods out of Max Speedy Rods, we'll get those K28 3 rods and go with that, and so we can start actually getting some not only some reviews on their performance in general, but race performance. So hopefully that works out. But because they aggravated me last time, I'm being very strict and specific on how I want to do things, like if they're going to have me advertise for them. So we'll see how that works out. And if it does happen, I guess you'll see that because I'll make some content on it. All right, guys. Social media links are in the description down below. VHPengines.com will be in the description down below, guys. Because of laziness, when you're seeing this, I might not have taken off the Nippon Racing products just yet. But just the website is there for you guys to browse engine prices like on heads and blocks, so that way I don't have to constantly quote people on what you're looking for. All right, thanks for watching and peace.